Okay, I just want to warn you that when I wrote this song, I was listening to The Cure a lot, so.
Okay.
Here we go. You don't know how much I need you while you're near me. I don't feel blue, and when we kiss, I know you need me too. Can't believe
Here's Hauser, gives it up. Clock ticks. Hall finding Walker. Walker when he's stripped by Nowell.
but it all was blue.
Nowell dribbles and lays it in. Count the basket and Kansas State wins it. The Wildcats are headed for the Elite Eight. What a game.
What a game indeed. Michigan State, Kansas State. 98-93, your final score in the Sweet 16 in overtime. Unreal. 18.45% of brackets had picked Kansas State to the Elite Eight. And when you work in college athletics long enough, you're bound to meet somebody from just about everywhere. And my boss at the University of Toledo is actually a K-State alum, so I know that she was incredibly pleased with the outcome of last night. However, our counterpart here, Ryan Elke, diehard Spartan fan, and tough night, man. I was gonna text you. I want to let you know I was gonna text you, and I wasn't gonna text you after the game because nobody wants that. Nobody wants that where somebody sends a message like, you know, it's just unnecessary. But during the game, I just imagined Ryan, Sparty swagged out, just pacing. Did you? I need a setting though. Where did you watch the game? Who did you watch it with?
It's just me and my father. Watching
Okay,
the game.
I love that. By the way,
So-
I absolutely love that you guys do that.
And in the basement, and there was no pacing. It was sitting intently, ass in seat, hats thrown, multiple occasions. Yeah, it was rough, and as Anthony, you said, there's a lot of not so nice things said on Twitter last night. I was part of that, and I'll first say I'm gonna apologize to Malik Hall. I said some mean things, but guess what? Hurt people. Okay, Malik Hall, learn how to make a damn free throw. All right, learn how to play defense. All right, you're facing Mr. New York City hoops Markquis Nowell, who seemed to be birthed by Virgin Lady Liberty himself, with Spike Lee delivering him on half court. Putting just an all-time Madison Square Garden performance, not by a Knick like it's always done, where history will remember him not playing for the Knicks. Just heartbreaking as usual. And just, how do you not know how to defend a pick and roll at the age of 24?
Oh man,
Like, how do you just continually let the 5'8" guy just look for passes when the one time Jaden Aiken stood in front of him, blocked him like it was Boban on a kindergartner?
the back cuts.
Every damn time.
The back cuts, like, I mean, it was like surgical from Kansas State, and at the same time, I was on the horn of my.
It
buddy
was
Bump.
like playing Operation with the buzzers turned off. That's how surgical it was.
And I'm like, dude, look at that cut, and he's like, how come they can't defend that? And I'm like, how can you? You got three guys in the paint, and no one's paying attention to the guy just running up and down the baseline. Like, what is going on
They
here?
fell asleep every time, and even the last K-State possession where it was the logo 3 that was partially blocked, where they had the inbound under the basket, and A.J. Hogarth just lets his guy run free for an open shot because he decided to follow Keontae Johnson, which Jaden Akins was already on him, and you leave a wide open shot. And blessed to the people that can sit there after the game on Twitter and say, these were the good things I'm going to take away for this game. Cool. I'm going to remember you guys not looking at any defenders outside of the guy that was 1 inch taller than Mighty Mouse.
And Nowell with an all-timer, 20 points, 19 assists. 20 points, 3 rebounds, 19 assists, 5 steals, only 2 turnovers in 43 minutes while shooting 7 of 18 from the field.
And the game came down to 2 things. One, K-State kept Michigan State in the game by doing heat check Dame Lillard threes. The only reason State had an opportunity to even tie and win the games because they were going for dagger shots. And, yeah. But also, Kansas State also won the game from hitting 2 of the most garbage end-of-shot clock threes I've ever seen. Deflected pass, Nowell's falling over, throws it up, banks it in with 1 second left.
It happens.
No, let's say it was not in God's or Michigan State's defensive plan to win that game last night. Like, it seemed like Mel Tucker drew up the defensive plan for Michigan State last night. That's how bad it was. Just let guys run free. Something will happen.
You know, I wasn't a huge fan of in the post game, Tom Izzo, and I get like the scramble pass where Nowell is on the near wing, the ball's loose, he grabs it and just flips it at the hoop and it banks in. I get it, man. I would be sick to my stomach if that happened too. But I don't think you can come out there and talk about, oh, they hit some lucky shots. You know, it's like, that doesn't sound great. That doesn't sound great.
Well, they did.
It's true.
It was not. That game was in higher powers' hands, and Michigan State, you were the villain last night. In a Disney film, you are the prince that is looking to screw this town up because you were not Cinderella last night. You were not the belle of the ball. You were not made to win that game. That game was not for you. You were just on the wrong end.
And we might get on here in the morning, and you might talk about this at work. You might talk about it with your friends or your fellow alumni about what a lucky shot that was. But as the head coach, you can't come out and say the other team just hit some lucky shots against us.
When it comes down to it's a 3-point game, yeah, it was 5, but it was a literally last-second layup dribbling the clock out. I think you can look at first. You got to look at Monty Sissoko deciding to just be a turnstile all night, and that's why he didn't play the last 15 minutes of the game. But what's gonna hurt are those 2 3-pointers that were 1 second left on the shot clock that were just thrown up and in. And this guy who had scored a collective, averaging 5 points in the last 3 weeks, going 4 for 6 from 3.
I understand that. I do. I promise you. As the shot clock is winding down, that when he hit that shot, he said, "This is a wrap." But
there was one in the first half. I was like, "It's done. It's not in God's plan tonight to win this game."
But as the head coach, stop them from throwing alley-oops. That's something how many points were given away because some guys cutting freely where you got guys in the paint that for whatever reason
So there's 98 points, so I'd say 90.
That's something where I'm just saying if it's another guy probably getting killed for it today, most people probably give it a pass. But I heard it and I'm like, come on, bro. You guys gave up 98 points. I know it's an overtime game, so take the 16 off the points.
Again, Anthony, hurt people, okay?
Exactly. I get it. I get it. Yeah, but 82 points.
We all weren't in our right minds last night, 10 minutes after the game. We all said some things we're regretting a little bit, but there's some sliver of truth inside of it.
Here is more from Coach Izzo here.
I've been part of a lot of big wins, and I've been part of a lot of tough losses. Never been prouder of a team because we didn't have our game tonight. We did not play like we were the first half. It was just kind of, we were ham and egging it, and we were just kind of fighting through it. And, we just kept fighting. When they, those 2 shot clock threes they hit, one was a bank in from almost on the ground. And then we missed some free throws, some of our better guys. I mean, it just wasn't, they made some plays, and we did some strange things. But we played our butt off. To bounce back after what we were shooting and shoot almost 50% from the field, and I guess it was 52 from the 3, 82 from the line, out-rebounded them. The game was lost with these 16 points off turnovers they got compared to our 2s. Turnovers was one thing we were concerned with. And then those timely shots they hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to, you're going to have 13 turnovers and they're going to convert on a lot of them, they're going to get 16 points out of it. They're going to have 5 turnovers like that. There's a stark difference between the two. Guys are going to miss free throws though. And it's something that happens. I don't think he means anything by it. But you hear it a lot in press conferences where it's like, oh, our guys didn't do X, Y, or Z, or they point to like a specific instance where a guy made a mistake or missed something, and they point to that, and it's just like, free throws aren't free. And until you've shot a high pressure free throw, I mean, it's a 5-foot putt, right? 5-6 footer. That's basically what a 15-foot free throw is. It's an extra point in the kicking game. And until you've had a 5-foot putt with a very, very large amount of money on the line, because that's the closest you're ever going to get to a pressure situation. You're not going to play on the tour. So, if you and your cohorts are out there gambling, I'm not talking 25 or 50 or $100. I'm talking about this 5-footer is a payday. Until you've actually putted in that situation, very difficult to explain how long 5 feet just got. I'll always go back to Mike Vanderjagt, who is statistically the greatest, most accurate NFL kicker to ever grace the surface. This dude missed one kick against the Steelers years ago. Was it the AFC Championship game with the Colts? Missed that kick, was never heard from again. Just completely melted down. Like free throws, I know, but if you get up to the line, you toe that line, you walk up there, and for Kansas State as a whole, went up there and they shot 11 of 16, which is 69%. Michigan State as a whole was 18 of 22 for 82%. We talked about this. Ryan talked about this yesterday. Like, getting to the line is something that Michigan State has done in this tournament a lot. And 22, like that kind of, I'd have to go game for game to take a look at the number, but that feels very much like average amount of free throws. Like 18 for 22 as a squad, that's a really good percentage from the free throw line. Really, for a team?
Right. But you're just looking back. There's 2 free throws late that were missed. One from Joey Hauser, one from Malik Hall, where you're just looking like there's a difference there of being tied at the end of the game. The 2 end of shot clock threes, they're like, but again, I just look at it like MSU did not. Somebody like, oh, MSU played so great. It's like, yeah, on one side of the ball. Like, I can't sit there like, oh, they played so great. It's like, I was just looking this whole time just saying, like, they're trying to steal this game because Kansas State is just outplaying them right now. And the way Kansas State's coach put it after they beat Kentucky, like, hey, how'd you beat them? It's like, we just outduded them. And it felt like that's what happened again versus Michigan State. They just have dudes.
Here is Coach Izzo, more from his post-game presser, talking about the league that is the Big Ten, because now the spotlight shines on the entire conference. Oh, you guys were it. Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. That was it. And now,
just like Obi-Wan, we're dead.
Lightsaber to the chest, Izzo.
No matter what anybody says, top to bottom, I have no problem standing up and saying we have the best league in the country.
Okay, hold on. Minnesota's in our conference, Coach. I know that a lot of times we forget about the Golden Gophers, but they're still there.
When you have that number of teams beating the hell out of each other every day, I don't think we're worn out from it. I just think you get a bad seed from it. So we had all these teams with 7, 8, and 9 seeds, and I'm not saying that was wrong, but that's what happens when I'd like to see some teams come in and survive this league in the places we play. So, I'm going to become a big Badger fan. I'm going to pull for them in the NIT, and I'm proud of my team, but I'm proud of the league too. And disappointments, there's disappointments, but I think as a 7 seed, maybe we showed how good our league was instead of, like some people say, the other way around.
Interesting. Very, very interesting there.
Maybe Tom Izzo's throwing his hat in for Big Ten commissioner.
I mean, he's going to be a big Badger fan. Didn't think we'd ever hear that. What did Kansas State's guard, Markquis Nowell, say about Michigan State afterwards?
Let's give credit to Michigan State. I mean, they played, a tremendous game on the offensive end and defensive end. It was like a Rocky fight tonight. I mean, we was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, some guys made some big-time plays. So I just want to give a credit to Tom Izzo and Michigan State.
I mean,
he might be going places. Seems like a good kid.
Too good of a kid. Too nice. I don't like him. He can get lost forever. To hell with Markquis Nowell. You're too good. You're too nice. I don't like you.
I mean, nobody had to say that. He's just up there with his fellow teammates, and he took it upon himself to go out there and to make sure that he wanted to make sure that everybody's on the same page of like, hey, this was a great game, and this coach deserves, and those players deserve to have their moment. I want to make sure I tip my cap to them, and it was a nice move. It was a very gesture on his part. Boy, it does make you kind of think, doesn't it? Some kids just get it. Also, as I tweeted about this, how about Jaden Akins? I mean, I'm not going to stop talking about him ever until he's graduated and goes on to have a 55-year NBA career and turn into a Hall of Famer. 38 minutes, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, 3 blocks. Did have 3 turnovers, but he did have 3 blocks and a steal. So the block-to-steal turnover ratio, he's still 4-3, still feeling good there. 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. That corner 3 ball that he hit at the end of the game was huge.
Just say, he was offensively, he was great defensively, awesome. A.J. Hogard, great game, took over late to keep MSU in it. Joey Hauser, good game, just solid. Tyson Walker came on late. Say, offensively, I have no qualms of how this game went. But
no
I'm
qualms
dead inside, though.